Oh man, so this is going to be a touchy one. So I've been thinking about the best way to go about explaining this one. Now, I got the question coming through, and it's, are they gaslighting me? Right? That's a big hot topic word right now, gaslighting. So the best way I think I can explain it is to explain while I'm shuffling here. This is for someone who thinks, the question for the collective is, are they gaslighting me? And then we'll do the reading. But first, I'm going to talk about what it's like in a typical day of dealing with someone who's actively gaslighting you, right? All right, we got Scorpio. Death and rebirth, right? We got 2, balance, and we got Sun, bringing things out into the light, bringing it into balance. Where are those dark things that have their holds on us? Fear, really. That's really what gets you with death, is fear. We got the Sun again. We got the crossroads, decisions, and we got intuition. Yes, your intuition is screaming, which is why you were asking these questions. You need to make a decision, but you're not sure what's really going on. We need to shed some light on this situation. Okay. So, a typical day with a gaslighter. And I'm going to pull this out of my own little piggy bank here. Alright, I didn't get into researching this shit for no reason. Alright. So, anybody who knows me, I'm going to start out, right? Anybody who knows me knows that I suffer from a lot of autoimmune issues, right? I have photosensitivity, which means I can't be out in sunlight a lot. I am always wearing sunglasses because my eyes are super sensitive, and I burn very, very, very easily in the sun. And I'm actively made fun of constantly by this person for running to the shade, right? How funny it is that I have to run to the shade, ha ha ha. And I'm always joking, yeah, that's why I'm so white. Right? Big joke. You laugh it off when you have things like that. That's normal behavior. That's not gaslighting, right? That's sarcasm and having fun, right? I'll show you where it gets into that later, right? So I also suffer from a lot of social anxieties and things like that as well. Alright, so, but I do love fishing and things like that. So my day starts out with a promise. It's going to be a great Sunday. We're going to go fishing in the morning. We're going to watch football in the afternoon. Right? And then we're going to go home and chill. Sounds great, right? First thing in the morning. Gaslighter is broke. Right? So his victim is immediately talked out of their last $20. Right? They're talked out of their $20. They're told, whatever necessities it was that you had it for, I'll get that tomorrow. We're going to use this to go have fun today. They buy one small thing of worms to go fishing with, a 6-pack or 12-pack of beer, a pack of cigarettes for themselves, and gas for their car. Then, oh, wait. The first store that they go to, they planned on getting stuff for lunch and stuff like that and drinks to take with them. As soon as they walked in the store, I got distracted. I'm saying it's me. I got distracted by some pens, right? And I was working on my first 13 runes then, and I was like, I need some pens. I was like, oh, get something that can write on wood. I said, no, I need, good stuff for paper that I like to write with because I'm working on something right now. And it's like, oh, you're a writer now? Wow, man. Like, I don't get enough shit like that from my family. I need it from you too. Right? So, that's a known trigger, right? It's a known trigger that this person was aiming at. So, naturally, yeah. I'm Aries, I got a little upset, and I left the store. He tried to stop me when I was leaving the store, grabbed my arm. I was like, no, I'm upset. I want to go to the car. Get whatever you need to get, and I'm going to go out. And then he ends up coming out saying they didn't have the cigarettes he wants. He needs to go to the other gas station. Later on, it comes out that the stores we were at didn't sell beer. He wanted to go to the gas station that had beer for Sundays. We ride out into the country, away from where the water is, away from where all the known piers and docks are. We get lost, burn up all the gas. It's now noon in the middle of the day. And on the way back to the house, he magically finds the most perfect spot. And it's the middle of a bridge at noon on a 90-degree day in South Carolina. I have no sunscreen. I don't even have a hat. When I get upset, once again, I got upset at the store. I embarrassed him at the store. Now I'm upset because I don't like his fishing spot because I can't physically fish there. Now I'm a terrible person. Right? So he's mad. He gets back in his truck. He goes to take off. He decides he is going to spin out to do the U-turn to leave, right? I also suffer from PTSD. I've been in several major car accidents, and I've almost been paralyzed a couple of times. It's not fun for me when somebody's spilling around like that. It's something that's been used on me ever since I've lost my vehicle at this point, and I'm dependent on him driving me around. They love to do that. They love to get you dependent on their vehicles, and then they'll drive crazy and torture you while they're driving to get your adrenaline going. All right? This whole fourth line read out to you guys. Right? Alright, so that's all gone down. There's crying, there's tears, there's fighting, there's arguing, there's explaining why somebody's so upset and how much you've hurt their feelings already all day and da-da-da-da-da and this, that, and the other thing, and the big purge comes out, and now we're trauma bonding with each other. Now we're both having a bad day and we're trauma bonding a little bit, and it's like, alright, well the rest of the day is going to be beautiful, right? It's going to be great. We're going to go watch football and this, that, and the other thing. And I was like, okay. I was like, well, how are you planning on watching football? Because we don't have cable or anything. And he's like, oh, I'm just going to watch it on my phone. I'm like, you think it's going to be that easy to watch it on your phone? We get back to the house. He couldn't watch on his phone. We have to go down the block to somebody else's house to watch the game. These people don't even watch football, but they're very gracious, kind people, and they're very nice and friendly, right? So they're like, okay, yeah, you can hang out in our little shed area, and we'll watch this one game with you. While we're watching the game, they're asking, what teams do I like and stuff like that. One of my teams is playing on another channel. So we're switching back and forth while we're watching the two games. We get down to the last 4 minutes of each game. So now that we're watching the main one live, we go ahead and we record the last one. We decide then. We have a whole conversation about how, we don't want to look at the score or nothing like that, so that way we can watch the second one. We can just watch that 4 minutes like it's live. We'll just watch it on a delay. So it comes down to the last seconds. His team loses the game. We go to switch over to the other game. Before we can even switch channels, he jumps on his phone, looks at the score, looks at me and goes, oh, you're not going to like it. Well, there's really no point in watching the last 4 minutes of a football game if you already know the teams are going to, which team's going to win, regardless of what the score is starting out at right now. Like, okay, great. The other team manages to, get whatever. If you buy based on the points, you can figure out what's going to happen. And then he proceeds to start talking shit like he didn't watch it. And I have to sit there and pretend like you didn't just ruin my game for me. Well, now I've pouted. While we went out, I was pouting. Oh, I have an attitude. I have no reason to be upset that he ruined the football game and shit like that. But that's the thing. They're going to try to trigger you. Every scenario was set up to try to explicit an emotional response from me out in public so that I look crazy to everyone around us. It doesn't matter how many times he's pulled the fishing stunt and stuff like that. That's the thing. You'll notice patterns. They figure out what triggers you, and then you'll notice that that'll be the same day over and over and over again. Oh, and because I pouted at the football game, that gave him a reason to get smashed, pass out, not wake up till 10:30 that night when I was getting ready to go to bed. So we didn't go fishing after the football game, which is what I was promised after the bridge incident at the beginning of the day. So the gaslighter got to do everything they wanted to do. They got to do in their reality You ruined their whole day. They had everything planned perfectly, and because you didn't go along with everything the way they, but you did. See what I'm saying? You did go along with the narrative that they wanted you to do. That's gaslighting. Okay? So let's see. It's the main collective energy dealing with gaslighters right now. Alright, I'm picking up a very strong energy of two energies that have had to deal with this, okay? So there's definitely, the divide here is, there is masculines and there are feminines on both sides of this conversation that are both defensive, right? They're both super defensive. You got a Queen of Pentacles on this side, right? With the Seven of Wands. This is on the 3D. This is visual on 3D. Everybody can even kind of see this going on. What? This Queen of Pentacles is super defensive over her stuff, right? Then you have this Hierophant over here, right? Living in this deck, he's teaching kids there. He's just sitting there with his knowledge, right? And you got the Conflict card here. So this is someone who, I get a strong sense, is seeking peace after lots of conflicts, probably from dealing with the same type of fucking energy, right? That pick at you until you snap in public energy and then make you look like the asshole, right? And that's a paranoia thing, right? It does. It causes a lot of paranoia, especially on the 3D, because it makes you paranoid that everybody's trying to elicit these emotional responses from you. And you never want to have to encounter having to live days like that over and over and over and over again, like Groundhog's Day. It's crazy with these people, because that's it. They want their day to go the way they want it, and if it doesn't, they'll just keep gaslighting you to make sure that the narrative stays that everybody thinks you're crazy and they're cool. And that ends up with a lot of people ending up in these isolating type situations and energies, right? Alright, so what's going on with the 40 between these two? I get a strong sense that on the 40 there's an awareness, right? There's justice coming. There's things that are starting to balance out. There is this very strong awareness among what I consider like the divine community, the divine feminines, the divine masculines, of everybody does have a past. What truly matters is once you become awakened, you have to forgive yourself for who you were before you woke, right? Before you awakened, however you want to do it, before you shifted, before you decided to change, before you decided that that's not what you want to be anymore. You know, you want to be this better person, right? And as long as you have moved from an area, from your heart center, pretty much, as long as you have moved with good intentions the entire time, right? The long run, it was good intentions. It was that. And my heart is light. That's what I'm getting at, right? Because this is all about when you pass, you know, even down to hectate decides what gate you cross by whether your heart, how heavy your heart is. Your heart should be light as a feather when you pass. You did everything you could, right? And as long as you keep moving from that center, there's definitely this 10 of Cups all the way on the 40. Just the idea of it, right? Got the High Priestess here. She's sitting there with their book. The Divine Feminines are tapping back into, tapping back into that Divine Feminine energy, right? There's been a lot of feminines acting masculines and masculines acting feminine, and a lot of imbalance, and it's starting to come back into balance because people who have been playing roles that they adopted for survival are finally hitting these epiphany points where you don't have to be who you were in survival mode. That survival mode's not supposed to be the forever mode, right? It's supposed to be to get you through whatever it is that it got you through. That's what your shadow really deep down is for. What? Your shadow is the thing within you that when someone breaks into your house, can get you wake up and grab a baseball bat and be ready to bash somebody's head in because they broke into your house with your kids, right? That's your shadow. That's needed things. That's survival mode. Your shadow will do some things in survival mode, right? Gotta forgive yourself for the past. Keep working to the future. Keep tapping into those powers, right? And learn the lessons that you learned from them. Your shadow teaches you what everybody is potential, right? Try not to use too many paranoid sounding words, right? All right. The divine masculine is working on this King of Swords here, right? Now the Page of Swords and the Knight of Swords can get people in a lot of trouble. They have very sharp tongues, and they can be very short, and they can hurt people with their tongues. They could be triggered into saying nasty things. Reversed energies in these ones can be very manipulative people that do very shady things in the background type of energies, right? Upright, like he's following the 3 crows there. Yep. Upright, following the 3 crows, learning how to get in control. I love the kings on these decks because they're moving. They're not sitting still, right? So this is an in motion evolution that's happening right now for both of these energies, right? Because everybody wants the 10 of Cups. We're all aware, though, we have to seize power within ourselves and balance that out and calm the storms within if you want to achieve that, right? These states can only be achieved in hermit mode, right? So Tesla said, solitude is the necessity for all invention. Less outside influences inflicting on the empaths, for sure. All right, we got Temperance, which is funny. That's the Sagittarius card, and we've got the Magician reversed on this side, right? The message I'm getting kind of strong from the 5D right now. This Temperance card's from the Labyrinth deck, right? So it's got the knockers from those 2 doors, right? And it's got the one, and they're always talking to each other, and the one, oh, mumble, because he's got the thing in his mouth, and he's like, no good, can't hear you. He's got the things in his ears. Right? So she has to take the ring out of his mouth in order to understand what the hell he's saying. And then she tricks him into putting the ring back in his mouth to get through the door. I don't know why that's important. But I'm getting that the imbalance is because of communication, right? There's communication errors all the way down to the 3D that are happening right now, right? Someone is not speaking clearly, and someone cannot hear. But now, this is where it comes down to, if you want to talk about gaslighters, can hear you. They understand completely. They're pretending like they don't remember things, but they do, right? This is a miscommunication somewhere down on the 3D. Someone is mumbling or not communicating well verbally, and someone doesn't understand, right? And I also get the sense of a lot of people are trying to convince people who are set on not understanding them as well. And that's going to be causing imbalances, right? Because these are definitely energies that you're dealing with, right? There's definitely, because you got the 5 of junk here, which is Pentacles. You got the 7 of Pentacles, right? Get the imbalance, right? I get that the reap what you sow energy, right? I feel like a lot of people with the 5 of Pentacles, there's a lot of money being involved here. I feel like a lot of the manipulation involves money, things of that nature, right? And that's this whole thing, right? People are miscommunicating, mishearing, everything else like that. I think some people, nope, sorry, can't hear you. I think that's really what's going on here. There's this whole imbalance that's happened here, right? And there's definitely a reaping of what you sow coming around here, and this imbalance that's playing out. There is an imbalance on the 5D. There is a magician. There is a reverse magician here. And for this to come down on the 5D, this can be a reverse magician that is in one magician in both y'all's energy, or this can be someone, each of you have a mirror version of this reverse magician fucking with you right now. And because it's picking all the way up on the 5D, this isn't just somebody playing some little 3D game. This person is purposely trying to cause communication errors. They're trying to cause drama. They're trying to, why? Because they just get money. They just want money. Right? Just want money. Why? Because sleep perchance to dream is the shadow that's lurking around this reading, right? Sleep perchance to dream. Anything to go back to sleep. I definitely getting, like I said, addiction vibes. Like I said in the story that I had, that all they really wanted was beer and cigarettes. They didn't really care how else the day went. That's all they wanted, right? Sleep perchance to dream. At the end of the day, they still passed out when they usually passed out. The day went how they wanted it to go. And in their dream fantasy, they were a magic hero. But you can't do that either. And that's what they play on. When they do all this, sleep perchance for dream, well, now what? Now you're the one doing things to sleep. Or you're so exhausted and depressed from dealing with it that you're going to lay in bed for 2 weeks. Sabotage whatever goals you're working on, right? Still got to get up. Still got to get up. Get the Stone People Vigilance card here. It's time to start paying attention to patterns, right? Start paying attention to patterns, and start paying attention to things of not just the people that you realize that you always feel bad after you hang out with them, right? No matter how good the day goes, it somehow gets ruined at the very, very last second, or the last 5 minutes, or the last whatever, or you think it went great, but then on the ride home, they're like, oh man, I wish you wouldn't have said this type of energy, right? Pay attention to that. But also pay attention to the people that are nice around you too, and the ones that recognize, because the people around you are not stupid either, right? In the case of that football game, those people have known that person his whole life. The reason they were recording that game for me is because they recognized he only wanted to watch his game, and they were trying to be nice to record the game for me. They were kind enough when they realized that he did that to me to still play along and watch the end of the game and be gracious and try to, you know what I'm saying, salvage the last few minutes of the evening, right? They're genuine, kind, friendly people, right? Pay attention to, leave you feeling like there's still nice people in the world. Pay attention to that too. All right. That is all I have for y'all today. Blessed be all those who walk these weird and winding paths with me. I hope that clarified some stuff for you guys. Like, it's not just bold-faced lying and stuff like that. It can be a whole conjuring of situations. They're trying to control a narrative. A gaslighter is trying to control the 3D narrative. I think that the people that are dealing with this, you're right to have a little bit of anxiety. Just be mindful that you're not blocking out the good people too. That's what the Stone Vigilance card is about. Don't isolate yourself, because that's what they want. What they want. This person constantly liked to insult me in a specific store over and over and over again, so eventually I would get too embarrassed to go in the store anymore. You know, people just underestimate the Aries level of I don't give a fuck, right? So that's been my honey badger thing lately. It's like, honey badger don't give a fuck. It's kind of how it's got to be, right? Don't worry about it. Those who know you, know. You know what I'm saying? Those who know you, know. Those who know me, no. They know I couldn't stand out in the sun and stuff like that. Just be paying attention, because if somebody is supposed to know you on that level, they should know you on that level too. So if they're doing something that they actively make fun of you about and then put you in a situation that is what they make fun of you about makes you uncomfortable, yeah, that's gaslighting. All right. Blessed be all those who walk these weird and winding paths with me. I love y'all. I'll be back as soon as I can. I promise.